Hi, my name is Reinhard Eckel with RapidSOS. It's an honor to be here today. Thanks for dedicating your time to public safety. And it was great to follow directly on Sunil and Steve and the great work that they're doing with Android Emergency Location Service. I think it's a natural order of presentations because we're going to talk about a pilot project that we at RapidSOS have done with Google and their Android ELS so that we can really tie it together and look at how Android ELS can be put into the context of NG911 and how can we make sure that the infrastructure that we're building out here in the United States is in a good position to receive that accurate location that has been successfully deployed in other parts of the world. So it's only a 10-minute presentation, so I'll keep it very short. And because I'm going to run out of time, I'll start with the results first. And then I'll explain what the pilot was. So we looked at the results of the pilot in 3 different dimensions. The first one is really about the data, the hard facts about the pilot. Was the location more accurate? Was the location faster? And here the answer is absolutely. We were able to demonstrate in the pilot that the ELS location using our next generation 911 clearinghouse was transmitted faster to the public safety answering point, and that it was more accurate, more precise. The second dimension that we looked at in terms of results was the operational perspective. How does it work for the call takers, the dispatchers, who have a very stressful job and who have to make decisions in split seconds with very limited information at hand? So we really stress tested that in our pilot regions, and the result here was, yes, call takers were able to receive the location as supplemental data through the integrations into our clearinghouse inside their existing software systems that they're using. It wasn't anything new. It was inside their existing call taking, mapping, computer-aided dispatch. And they perceived it as very useful. And the third dimension that we looked at in terms of results is the human component. Does this make a difference? Is this something that really needs to be rolled out? And here, we were able to collect a few examples together with our pilot regions around what are the applications of this? What are the situations in which faster, more accurate location really saves lives? And obviously, it's a short presentation, so we only have very few examples up here, but I'm sure that our pilot PSAPs would be happy to give you more examples in a more informal setting. But yes, it was used in real 911 emergencies, and it made a real difference. And that obviously is a testament to the power of this more accurate and faster location. So now taking a step back, what is the NG911 clearinghouse? What was the pilot that we have done? So as you heard from Sunil and Steve, Android ELS can send location to an endpoint, and that endpoint is loosely defined. It could be a wireless carrier, it could be a technology provider, just like the clearinghouse. And the approach that we've taken here is that we ingest Android Emergency Location Service in the formats that are being available, and then we transform it into the NENA i3 NG911 data formats. So our clearinghouse is a next generation 911 LIS, a location information server that is built to NENA i3, and that integrates with all the different flavors and manufacturers of call taking, mapping, and dispatching software. So our approach is not to put a new piece of software or hardware in the PSAP. Our approach is to connect with the pieces that are already in place and use a standardized format so that there's nothing proprietary. And what that allows us to do is, it's a very scalable process, and we're able to offer this for free to public safety. We don't charge a service fee or integration fee to either our partners or the public safety answering points. And what we do is we deliver that location as supplemental data. It is not replacing the carrier E911 location that is regulated, and we appreciate that the wireless carriers are doing a lot of great work to improve location, but they are restricted by regulations and by standards and by certain protocols that might not be consistent to with ELS, at least for the time being. So because we use this supplemental approach using NG mechanisms, we're able to get this out faster and really start saving lives with that. And yeah, we integrate with all major manufacturers, and we'll show a few examples later. Now, a little bit more about the logistics of the pilot. We had a pilot project in January of this month. It ran for about of this year. It ran for about 5 weeks, and we selected 3 different regions in the country to be representative of the different flavors of 911. So we had a large system, North Central Texas Council of Governments, with 44 PSAPs in a hosted environment, in kind of an urban, suburban, somewhat rural setting. It was a mix. I'm just looking into the audience here. I want to give a shout out to the director, Christy Williams, who's been a real champion for location accuracy. We piloted with Collier County Sheriff's Office in Florida, which is a hosted system with 2 PSAPs, very modern, kind of consolidated PSAP, very excellent work they're doing down there in the wake of Hurricane Irma, and really appreciate the work down there. And we also integrated this solution and rolled it out for this pilot in Loudoun County, Tennessee, which is a smaller county PSAP in rural Tennessee. So we really wanted to show the different morphologies and make sure that we capture test data that is representative of the country. So quick recap of the results. When it comes to the hard data, we found that the ELS location transmitted through the NG911 clearinghouse was faster and more accurate. And I'll try to quantify that for you a little bit. When it comes to faster, and I realize that chart is a little bit small, but what you'll see here is that for 70% of calls, the ELS location was available to the call taker when the call taker picked up the phone and said, 911, what's the location of your emergency? If you compare that to the data that they're receiving today from the E911 mechanisms, there is a percentage of calls that comes in with initial phase 2, but in the PSAPs that we have done the pilot project with, it was around 22%. So for a large number of calls, we were able to shave off 25, 30 seconds. And the feedback that we've gotten from PSAPs is that's a meaningful difference. That could make a difference of life and death in certain situations. The other important aspect of the results of the pilot is the location accuracy. Not just faster, but also more accurate. So what we've seen is that on average, the ELS location transmitted through the clearinghouse had a radius of about 37 meters, which is about 120 feet. And we were able to deliver 76% of calls within 50 meters of reported uncertainty. So when Sunil was mentioning that Google is able to meet the 2019 standards, I want to say they're already halfway to the next one, right? So that was very encouraging to see that the location on the smartphone is actually already meeting where we need to be in terms of the regulations. The control group, the phase 2 location, had obviously very accurate location in outdoor environments when the GPS system was working as designed, but there were a lot of calls coming from indoors, so the average over all calls that had phase 2 was 159 meters, which is obviously not dispatchable. So got some very good feedback from PSAPs on this. Now going into the operational aspect of the pilot, kind of moving away from the hard data and the hard facts to what did call takers say about that? Was it perceived as useful? Was it perceived as something that makes a difference in their day-to-day? And here, we want to show you a little bit of a preview of what it looked like in the public safety answering point. These screenshots are a little bit small, so I want to invite you to come over to our table afterwards, and we can give you a little bit more of a in-depth view. But what you'll see here is that we've integrated our clearinghouse with 16 of the largest vendors of 911 call taking, mapping, and computer-aided dispatch. We're entirely vendor neutral. We are willing to work with anybody who wants to integrate it with us, and the majority of companies have done this. I have 3 small screenshots up here of partners that we're providing the software in the pilot regions. So what you'll see up here is you'll see Airbus with their VectorMap local product, where the RapidSOS location, in this case from the ELS, was displayed side by side with the alley location. You'll see the same for the GeoComp GeoLinks map, where you have 2 icons on the same map. one coming from the alley with a big circle of uncertainty, and one coming from ELS through the clearinghouse with a smaller circle. And then you'll also have Rave Smart 911, also an integration partner of ours that also plots both locations side by side so that the call taker can see and discern, what is the best location that I have available at the time. And here I really want to stress it's supplemental. We do not remove the E911 alley location from the screen, and there is a place for that, right? It's regulated, it's trusted, and we do not want to interfere with that in any way or form. Also, I just want to mention there's other partners here that have integrated with RapidSOS. So please come see us. And also want to mention that Rapid Deploy, Motorola, and InDigital are all partners of RapidSOS. So please seek them out and learn how they integrate it with us. We did a survey with call takers and dispatchers after the pilot project to really learn what their sentiment was towards this new location. And we found that 82% have noticed that these new locations are coming in, and they found it very useful. 88% of call takers said, yes, that's very useful. And we got all sorts of colorful examples of particular calls where it made a difference, and situations in which that faster, more accurate location made it possible for them to respond faster or more effectively. Now to the more human, emotional aspect. 1 minute, 2 minutes? All right. I knew I was going to run out of time. So,
music queuing up.
Yeah. Thanks for keeping me honest, Patrick. All right, so for real use case examples, please come talk to us. I'll just show one here that was very interesting. Call taker was panicking, was giving a wrong location. Responders were dispatched, and when they arrived, there was nothing there. So with the ELS location, they were able to find the caller. But there's plenty of examples that I want you to exchange some notes with the participating PSAPs and with us. And with that, that's the end of my presentation. It was a great experience, wonderful working together with the participating PSAPs, wonderful working together with the Android ELS team, doing great work that would really save a lot of lives. And we're excited to see the results of the pilot and where we take it next from here. Please come see us at the back for a full report. We'll be able to talk more without time constraints. And sorry, Patrick, I always run long.
Thank you.
Thank you.